I may have gotten a little bit of a gift with the Modestas Bukauskas fight, and he helped us cash the, or at least cash a leg of the Locky Trinity. Jasmine Jasdovicius went out there and did exactly what she was supposed to do. And then Jose Aldo, what a kerfuffle in the last, 24 to 36 hours leading up to that matchup, forcing the fight to go up to 145 pounds and then hitting the biggest cardio wall I think we've ever seen in the third round of a fight. After hurting his opponent very badly, he ends up just laying on his back for the rest of the round and ultimately giving up that fight. And we have to rip up our Locky Two-Step and Locky Trinity tickets thanks to Jose Aldo. I never thought I would say that, especially with him fighting somebody like Ayman Zahabi. No shade at Zahabi, obviously a fellow Canadian. I'm happy to see the success that he's had, but I really thought, stylistically speaking, that would be a great matchup for Jose Aldo. Did not end up being the case. So we have to rip up our tickets there, like I said. Hopefully, we can get back on track with this weekend's Locky Trinity and Locky Two-Step that I got for you guys. Weird card overall. If you guys remember earlier in the week, I dropped the Dog of the Night, top 3 Dog of the Night candidates, which is normally the top 3 Lock of the Night candidates segment, but that's because I don't have a Lock of the Night play for UFC Vegas 106. Very weird card all around. Now I'll have several bets on this card, but nothing to the point that I'm willing to put 5 units on. And for this parlay, it's quite a juicy parlay that I got for you guys here, but I want to be very cautious about it because, again, normally I have a 1 to 10 scale in terms of confidence that I put in my best predictions article that I drop on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, and the highest confidence rate that I have on this card is 7, and it's with either 1, 2, or even 3 of these guys that are on these on this parlay here. So just wanted to throw that out there first before I put it up. Also, just wanted to say, go Leafs go, right? Let's hope. Yeah, I know, I'm sure by the time this drops, the Leafs game is on currently right now. They're down 3-2 in the series to the Florida Panthers. I'm hoping the good juju of rocking the Leafs merch and this entirety of Friday gives them what they need to will themselves to a Game 7. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they don't get embarrassed like they did in Game 5 by losing 6-1. For any of my hockey fans out there, go Leafs go. Fingers crossed. All right, let's get into this Locky Two-Step for you guys. The first step up is going to be Hyun-Sung Park, who is going up against a tough Carlos Hernandez. Now, I had Hernandez as a Lock of the Night play last time around against Nyamdragal Tumendemberol, and he made that fight way more sweaty than it should have been. He took the grapple-heavy approach, which is what I was hoping he was able to do, but I was not impressed with his ability to get longer periods of control time or even to get off a submission. Ultimately, once Tumendemberol got back to the feet, he was able to land big shots and really wear Hernandez down there. And one judge actually even scored that fight in Tumendemberol's favor. That was a very heavy sweat, but we were able to cash Hernandez that night. But he has a tougher task here against Hyun-Sung Park, who is a very athletic, powerful, fast, well-rounded mixed martial artist who, the only flaw that you can really pull out in his game, in my opinion, is the lack of experience against higher levels of competition. Luckily, he's been able to go out there and do what he needs to do to win these matchups against whatever these promotions have been throwing at him. And I think this matchup against Hernandez will be a little bit of a coming out party for him, showcasing that he can go up against these, somewhat mediocre, above average fighters that the UFC has to throw at these guys. I think Park puts together a better body of work. I think he lands bigger shots. I think he maybe is able to land a few takedowns, but I think ultimately it's going to be the significance of the damage that he's landing, which ultimately earns him this unanimous decision. So he is the first step in the Locky Two-Step. The second step is going to be Jared Flash Gordon as he goes up against Thiago Moises. Now, I've seen the crowd kind of split on this fight throughout fight week, but the line does indicate that the money is slowly coming in on Gordon. I got him in this parlay at minus 108 earlier this week, but I've seen him, go up to minus 140. I think he's roughly around minus 130 at the time of this recording, but I think he can set that pace and that pressure that Moises is uncomfortable dealing with. We saw Trey Ogden put up a very solid volume-based focused approach in that first round, clearly winning that round on the scorecards. But then it seemed like when Moises really picked up on it, he was able to start landing calf kicks and really slow Ogden down. And we saw Ogden break about halfway through that second round, which allowed Moises to win the rest of that fight. Gordon's a tough guy to break. Gordon is a guy that will likely utilize those calf kicks against Thiago Moises by punching him every time Moises tries to throw a kick or not giving him enough space to get off on those types of kicks. I really like Gordon's style, and as long as his durability holds up here, I think he can really put a pace and pressure on Moises that he just can't surmount a comeback from. So Gordon will be the second step in the Locky two-step. Now, earlier this week, this is the benefit of jumping on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, because we were able to lock this two-leg parlay in at plus 221. As of this recording, you're forced to settle for plus 178. So a huge jump there in terms of odds. We're talking about over 2-to-1 odds to now close to 1.5 times odds that you'll be able to get on this parlay. So another positive reason to jump on the MMA LOTN Patreon page, not because of this just because of this parlay, but all the other great things that come with it as well. All the other hard work that your boy puts into this thing. So make sure you guys check that out. If you want to complete the Locky Trinity, this one is another a little bit sketchy one, but I feel kind of good about it. I'm going to go with Myron Santos as he goes up against veteran Sodiq Yusuff. Now, the issue that I've had with Yusuff in the past is that he's a little bit low volume at times. That's the reason I picked Arnold Allen against him, because I felt Allen could kind of match him in that pace, but also be a little bit quicker to the punch and land some big shots to win that fight. Here with Santos is much more volume heavy than Yusuff, and I think he has good enough durability to try to eat a few shots from Yusuff by landing several more shots of his own. I think he can mix it up well enough as well with his wrestling if he needs to, but it's really that striking and that pace, that volume that I think will allow him to get that edge over Yusuff in this matchup. And another one where, I got him better line earlier this week. Seems like the public is slowly coming in on him here now as well. And I was able to lock in plus 468 earlier this week. Now you have to settle for plus 356. So nearly, a whole, you got 4.5 times your money compared to 3.5 times your money if this parlay ends up cashing. So there you guys go. Locky two-step, Locky Trinity there for you guys. Yeah. That's about it. I'll be back in a few more hours for the UFC Vegas 106 prop drop. So hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys again later today. Peace.